What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Just Swingin podcast with Symone. Today, I am super excited to have Chase Brewster. He is the head man in charge for the Arkansas Sticks. He's also a podcaster himself. Chase Brewster Show. Y'all see it with his mic. What's up, Chase?
Hey, Symone, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. So we got a lot of things to get into. Usually, like I will write down, some talking points, but I'm really just off the dome with you because I just have so many natural questions.
Yes, man. Well, I appreciate you having us on.
So how is it going for you going from coach, CEO to podcaster? Because you did just launch your own show, the Chase Brewster Show.
It's really been surreal. I don't watch the podcast back because I get embarrassed. So anytime somebody texts me a line or they were like, hey, that was like when me and Dirk did it, a lot of people were like, hey, there's a lot of good advice. We made our kid watch. A bunch of our youth parents text that. So it was cool. I used to joke with Willie, like, I'm not going to ever look at the numbers, I'm just going to keep putting it out and not get discouraged. And we've had over 1,000 views on every one of them. So, I would have been happy if like 10 people watched, but the fact that 1,000 people have been watching, it's been cool, man. Hopefully we can be a part of the change and help grow and grow the game and, just all those good things that come with it. So it's been a lot of fun.
So, like I said, everybody knows you for the Arkansas Sticks. That's how I was first introduced to you, but I don't think a lot of people know your backstory. So let's get into who is the man behind the Sticks. How were you first introduced to the game of baseball?
And I was what I would consider a terrible player, not very good. Just kind of wanted to, man, just stay out of trouble. Go to college, just have a route that any extracurricular we could, just to try to stay, focused on getting a degree and use baseball as a way to get a degree. Coach Bold at Texas County College, I had a scholarship to be a student coach, and then he made me an assistant coach, and now he's at the University of Nebraska, so we're super happy for him. But just kind of kept growing and really treated people well. I hope or feel like that's at least I think, and worked hard. The opportunities I was given, and it's just kind of grown every day. I mean, it started with one team, and we thought we were going to have one sticks team, and we were really good. And, now we have 25 teams in Arkansas, and we have 5 in Arizona and 3 in New York, and we have a partnership with the Mississauga Tigers in Canada. So, at the core, I was just a really bad player that loved baseball, and I loved the relationships, and I loved the thought of where it could take me. Back then, just traveling 6, 7, 8 hours, felt like a long way away, and you're seeing these places for the first, especially before social media.
Yeah.
We were just happy to build bonds, and I had some of the greatest friends ever, which is kind of why we started the Chase Brewster podcast, because I felt like it was organic. It was, just like this. I mean, I consider you a friend. I've been super supportive behind the scenes for you. I'm super happy for you and kind of the friendship we've had. And it's been like that for the past 15, 20 years. I mean, I got to build relationships that'll last forever, and I got to get 2 degrees out of it. And we've just kind of, as I've gotten older, kept growing that philosophy, and we've kept kind of the same mantra of just trying to treat people right. And unfortunately, you don't always get it right. We had 400 kids that played for us last summer. That's at least 400 parents, a lot of divorce. So, you say 600, 650 parents, they got grandparents involved. So, unfortunately, when you have that many people involved, you're going to have some upset people. But we've tried really hard when we do have upset people to make things right and to kind of fix the experience and just make kids only get 3 or 4 years of summer baseball, depending on how you look at it in high school. So we're just trying to give them the best experience possible. And I think at the core, it's the same philosophies I had as a 17, 18-year-old kid. Treat people right. Let baseball take you as far away from home as you can. Let it help get your education, and let it help you make lifetime friendships that'll last forever. So I think we're still carrying out the same things that I thought about the game 20 years ago today as the Arkansas Sticks are growing. And I'm leaving in the morning to head to West Palm to go to Jupiter. So just another trip with some of my best friends and some of the best players in the world. I think it's the same thing that 16, 17-year-old me thought about baseball. Now it's just on a larger scale.
Awesome. So you brought up Florida. I was going to ask you about that in the beginning, but what happened? Because weren't y'all there, like with the hurricane and everything? Weren't y'all there last week?
Yeah, we went to the sophomore event. Us and Coach Manning combined, next level 3-2 sticks baseball. Had a really good team, and uh, it was great. Grant Reen was up to 93. Jared Hawker threw really well behind them. We had a bunch of really good players, but we were fortunate enough to come back home on Sunday.
Yeah.
Me and my wife, we were going to turn around on Tuesday and drive down because we have like 27 boxes in our car for Jupiter. So we were going to go to sophomore, come home for a couple of days, and then leave. And luckily, in between us coming back home on that Sunday and leaving, they canceled Thursday. Sometime Tuesday night, I just made the adult decision like, hey, this probably isn't a great idea. And I will say, Justin Amadon and Ben Ford and all those guys, a perfect game. I know it was incredibly impossible for them to know what was going to happen because we were just there. Like we had people, like our waitress at Doc Ford, she was like, I've been here 30 years. It's not going to hit. This is all like media blowing it up. It really is a shame because, me and my wife and my friends, we have so many memories, as I'm sure you do, of Fort Myers and just, like that'll last a lifetime. And to see those places get torn apart, it's just devastating. And we're praying for everybody involved. But luckily, we were able to make the adult decision, like, hey, we're just going to pull out. And then the next morning, perfect game canceled. They asked us, I guess they took like 30 of the top teams to go play in West Palm this weekend instead, starting yesterday. And went first, we were invited and we tried to make it. It just logistically was kind of a nightmare. Everybody,
Yeah.
it was like 30 teams trying to get rental cars at the same time. Nobody had hotels. So we just, again, had to be adults. We had to pull out. It was unfortunate because our team was so talented. We had such a great team this week playing. And I think we'd had a real chance. I think it's impossible to feel like you're going to win these things if you're being logical because there's just so
Yeah.
many. But I felt like we'd have had a fighting chance to make a run. And we were really good. So I hate that. I hate it that it happened. I hate it for Florida. I hate it for so many memories that me and my family have gotten to make down there. But I hate it for the kids too, because a lot of these kids are feeling the pressure. This
Yeah.
17 new event. They're feeling like this is their last chance to get recruited, and they're at the kind of the end of the fall right here. After Jupiter's kind of over. It just was a tremendous amount of pressure on a lot of people,
Yeah.
and and sometimes, as you know, baseball isn't near as important as we think it is. So, it ended up getting canceled. Devastating stuff happened in Fort Myers. But we're headed out tomorrow to West Palm. We play 2 games Wednesday. We play San Diego Show and the Rawlings National Scout team on Wednesday, and then we open up Thursday morning against one of the better teams in the country, the Blue Jay Scout team. So, while it was not a great thing to take last weekend off because we were so good, it has kind of given us a chance to kind of get everybody focused for Jupiter. It's only 4 or 5 days long, but it feels like it lasts a month. And
Yeah.
every pitch matters, unfortunately, down there because if you get behind with some of those arms, it's hard to come back. So we're ready to roll, and we'll head out tomorrow. And hopefully, we'll have a great week.
So we know you're with the Arkansas Sticks, founder, CEO. Are you from Arkansas? Where are you from?
I live in a place called Texarkana. So like Tex is for Texas, R from Arkansas, and then Anna for Louisiana. So Texarkana. I grew up on the Texas side. I went to Texas high school, graduated. But it's probably 3 minutes to the Arkansas side.
Okay.
So when I graduated, I went to Texarkana College and then Texas A&M and Texarkana, both on the Texas side. But I worked at Genoa Central for 7 years, which is a high school in Arkansas. We won 2 state championships and a bunch of conference championships, stuff like that. So that's kind of where the love came from. Just working in Arkansas and coaching.
Yeah.
And that was going to be my plan, was just to coach in Arkansas forever. We had a chance to win every year. It was just great for my family, and it was very enjoyable. And next thing I know, we had so many teams that I was running two full-time jobs. So kind of had to pick one, and luckily, it's been the best decision I've ever made.
So at what point, you said you were bad at baseball, but you were still kind of trying to make it work. At what point did you kind of like give up on your playing career or move on? Not necessarily give up, but realize you had to move on.
I would say probably in middle school, like my dad didn't really like baseball, so he made me play football. And like I was naturally kind of good at it. He'll tell the story that I didn't like going to baseball practice, but I don't think he wanted to take me. But just kind of, I was involved in the program all through high school. All my best friends played, and I was doing anything I could to get out spring football. So, went to all the practices, all the summer stuff, whatever. But kind of just eventually fell in love with it, and knew I wanted to coach. That's kind of all I'd ever known. Didn't really know what kind of way I was going to go. And like I said, Coach Bowl gave me a scholarship to to just basically do all the stuff he didn't want to do. I needed all the scholarships I could get. So my dad hates when I tell that side of the story, but in my opinion, we needed all the scholarships we could get. So
Right.
luckily, my dad, he did everything he could to make sure we graduated with no debt. We were able to get some scholarships along the way, and it just, I think the joy was always there, just not being super athletic.
Yeah.
My dad was a DJ and a used car salesman. That's kind of kind of athlete I am. I wasn't blessed with amazing talent, and I wasn't one of those guys that was going to fake it. We never have. We've been really authentic the whole time, and that's kind of who I was. I just said, hey, ain't no point of wasting anybody's time here, but still loved it, and that's kind of same thing today. I'm in the prime of my athletic career right now. I'm the best looking this athletic body's been, but it's still a bad athlete.
So, did you play in college?
No. I was a student at Texarkana College.
So you got academic scholarships?
No, I mean, I got a scholarship to basically be like the team manager to start with, and then work my way up. Just kind of grinded it out, and then he asked me to come on and be an assistant coach, and just kind of my duties. Kind of every day he'd give me something. Him and Coach Seeley, who's now at Oklahoma State, and Coach Flanders with the Padres. I mean, they were all new to the area when they got there from A&M, and they didn't know any of the players. They didn't know any of the high school coaches. So just kind of day by day, we kind of did whatever they wanted. Started with dragging the field and washing uniforms, and ended up, I was all over with more responsibilities than I probably needed at 20 years old. Just kind of grinded it out, and then they ended up getting rid of the athletic program. Unfortunately, that they had to cut it because of financial problems. So a lot of really great players, Hunter Pence and all those guys came through there. A lot of good coaches, Coach Van Horn at Arkansas, Coach Childress at Nebraska, Coach Bolt at Nebraska, Coach Trout at Texas State. A lot of great coaches came through there, but they got rid of the program, I guess, shortly after that. And now, unfortunately, there is no more Texarkana Bulldogs program.
So you were coaching high school baseball for 7 years. Did you ever think about like going to the collegiate level, the pro level? Like what would, in the time where you were like now, you're looking back, but in the time, what was your goal at the time? Like when you were young?
My goal was definitely to always be a college coach. And it probably always has been until recently. And we had some offers, or I had some offers. I mean, I don't want to like, get on this camera and just like completely brag, but we had a good situation going, and we, Coach Cooper, and I mean, we even had some Division I opportunities, but it was so much fun with Coach Giles and Coach Huff, and I mean, then eventually TJ showed up, and I mean, every single year, I was there 7 years. We played in the conference championship 7 times. We played in the regional championship 7 times. We won 2 state championships, and it was kind of addicting. And a lot better coach, and change was scary. I mean, there was a little bit of me that just was happy winning, and just getting after it. But eventually, we got a new administration, we got a new principal, new superintendent, new athletic director, and it wasn't the same anymore. And had opportunities when I left. Like one of the most scariest times of my career was trying to decide, like 2 weeks before school started, we're going to go to this school, we're going to go to this school, we're going to just do sticks full time, and nobody knew. I mean, we had like 5 teams at the time, and maybe we were going into having 10 teams. We went from 2 teams to 5 teams to 10 teams in a 3-year span, and somewhere in there, it's kind of like, hey, what are you going to do? Obviously, I was with Alicia like 11 years before we got married, so obviously wanted to propose, like kind of figuring things out, becoming an adult, and just said, hey, what if I put all my passion and love into the sticks and fall and summer and give these kids the best opportunity? So we kind of ran with it, and I just said, hey, whenever it's time to go to work, we'll go to work. And it's really been a blessing, because all the jobs I was begging for to work for free back then, now when they call, it's kind of like, well, I appreciate it, but very happy. It's the same situation again, just very happy, almost addicted to helping kids and changing lives. And we can change way more lives right now from afar than we ever could have imagined as a high school coach. And I think at the end of the day, I thought I was a baseball coach, but like really I'm not. I'm in the business of helping change as many lives as I can, and luckily God gave me a platform to do that every day. And so right now, super happy, and we obviously all got goals. And my goals kind of change over time as I get older, and so we're going to just keep riding this thing out. And we just got named the White Sox scout team. That was kind of like the last check mark on on my personal goal, like as a summer baseball coach. So to get to represent an MLB team, and you
So
know,
y'all not this. I'm always confused. So are y'all still named the Sticks or y'all Arkansas?
yeah, it's 3-2 sticks baseball / White Sox scout team, and some teams do half and half, some do, you know, whatever. We decided just to wear the White Sox uniforms at Jupiter. We could have done anything we wanted, and we had a lot of like options. Actually, we could have went Sticks uniform, like White Sox colorway and the Sticks logo. Like we could have done a bunch of things, but
Yeah.
it was about the kids and how great for those kids to get to wear, you know, the White Sox gear. Like for some of them, I hope they all play pro ball. I mean, we all do, but like it's not gonna happen. It's just we
Yeah.
got kids on our roster. It's impossible. So for some of them, this will be the highlight of their professional career, however you want to word it. So you know, we decided just it would have been easy to wear Sticks and that'd have been great, but we wanted to do what was right for the kids. That's what we've always done. So it's still 3-2 Sticks baseball, Bruce 18 Brewster / White Sox scout team. So we'll have all the White Sox gear for the kids, the socks, the hats, all that stuff. So that was kind of the last box to check, and like I felt like, and you know, I'm as happy as I could be that our kids get the opportunity to play. You know, what a lot of people consider the highest level in summer baseball as being a MLB scout team. So it's super exciting for everybody involved, in my opinion.
So how involved, and I know it's probably different, like team by team, but like how involved are the MLB, I guess you would say, scouts and coaches in scout teams? Like how involved are they? Like,
You know, you hear stories. Like I don't really want to speak for everybody. You hear stories. Like I think honestly, think some are wearing the stuff without even getting permission. And I think some are like the Royal Scout team. Their scouts actually coach it. You know, we were very very fortunate, and I feel like we have one of the greatest coaching staffs in the country. With Dirk Kenny, who's with the Cardinals. We had Tyler Sawyer, who was, you know, one of the best junior college coaches in the country. Cesar Abreu was a college coach. Kyle Slayton's in the Hall of Fame and National High School Coach of the Year. So just, I don't know that coaching is what would have helped. Like they obviously probably know more than us, but we're super organized. I mean, that's really something for you to say more than me, but I feel like we're super organized at least. But we had conversations with Rob and Mike and those guys, but like honestly, some of the players they wanted to see and were very focused on, we already had. So it really, in my opinion, gives them a deep dive into what kind of person the kids are, and that's where really the value is now with the scout teams. I feel like, you know, you look at a kid like Mason Wynn or Tim Kent's. We weren't the scout team, but Dirk Kenny was literally staying in the house and in the car taking those guys to games. And you know, you look up and you go, well, Mason. Like we were watching the draft unfold, and we're like, nobody's gonna have enough money left to take Mason, but the Cardinals. Like this is it right here, and it's like, oh, Mason's going to the Cardinals for X amount. Well, that was because Dirk was standing on the table, going like, hey, this is what kind of kid he is. This is what kind of like Tim Kent's is healthy. Like the rumors aren't true. So even though we weren't a scout team then, we still had like inside info to the scouts to like really justify spending millions of dollars for these kids that might be undersized, that might have rumors about it. You know, we all have rumors. I do, you do. But we were able to say, like, this isn't true. And I would
yeah.
like to think that people would say, like, hey, I've been honest. You know, like we've been very honest with scouts and colleges and media and like really what kids can and can't do. So I think we already had the stuff that programs are looking for. Like we had the good staff, we had the organization, and we had a lot of good players. Now it just kind of gets opened up to the Midwest. And you know, to be honest, like I don't want to put too much pressure on him, but Kel Fountain is a player that he was on the White Sox area code team. He's from Nebraska, and they love him, and everybody loves him. He's one of the best players in the country. He's committed to Florida State. And he kind of opened up his commitment. He's got like his top 6. But Ethan Murray's on our team as well from Atlanta. He's a top 20 player in the country from Buford High School. So we kind of had, obviously, I would like to think we have the best players in Arkansas, like I'm sure other programs say, but on paper, we have the best players. And we have some of the best in the South and in the country, really. But to add some of those guys for this event, and you know, Hunter Baines from IMG, who's going to Maryland, has been up to 94. Just some other guys that you look around, and I hope people are like, hey, this is a real scout team. And when you get into the roster, the core of it was already our players. You know, I mean, you look at our team this summer, we had a catcher from Florida, a catcher from Arkansas, a first baseman from Arkansas, a second baseman from Alabama, a shortstop from Dallas, Texas, third baseman from Hawaii. I mean, if that's not borderline a scout team already, regardless of
Yeah.
what, I mean, you can go in the outfield. I mean, we had, C.J. Richards was from Ohio. Ethan Sutton was from Atlanta, Georgia. Cade Smith was from, Arkansas. So I think we already were there as a national team. At least that's what I think. We had some big wins the last couple of years to prove that. But now to like get the actual scout team title was really special because it had kind of been about 3 years in the works, and to see it all come together, like I said, just super exciting. The kids get to wear the New Era hats, the Stan socks. I mean, the real gear. We're just fired up for them. So I think it's exciting. Hopefully, it's exciting time for those guys. And instead of going, oh, we got to go to Jupiter, hopefully they're fired up to get there. It'll be, if fired up or not, it will come sooner than later. And if we're not fired up to be there, we won't play very well, probably. So hopefully, it'll be a little small reward for those guys, and they'll be happy to wear all the stuff and have a good weekend.
This is always so interesting to me because, everybody's like jobs are different. Like, even though you might work in the same sport or like somewhere near the same industry. So when it comes to the draft, because you brought up the draft from like, for you, like, because like you said, you're not only just a coach, but you're also a business manager, a lot of other things. What is it like for you guys during the draft? Are y'all making calls? Are teams calling y'all, asking y'all for insight on certain players?
Like I don't, again, like I try to be very I think some baseball coaches get a bad rap. They get on social media and they go, but so I don't want to be like that guy that like takes credit where credit's not due. But I mean, yeah, we definitely have played a huge role, especially in our organization, and we've gotten a bunch of calls, and I mean, we especially the COVID year. The COVID year was crazy. Like it was, I felt like it was at least one player in particular. I felt like it was my son. I mean, we were yelling like he was about to sign for 100,000. We knew it. We're like, no, like this can't happen. Like his age is not. Nobody's answering. And the core of the sticks for the past 7 years is do what's right for the kids.
Mm-hmm.
I think like when we first started, we were the first ones in this area, and definitely in the state, to go like, hey, we're going to Atlanta every weekend. We're going to Fort Myers. We're going to, like, the kids don't want to play locally. Like they want to get drafted. We were the first ones to go like, hey, you guys need agents. When I first started, agents were dirty and they were people you couldn't trust, and they wanted something from you. And I'm like, well, like agents work for you. Like the ultimate goal is for everybody to get drafted. And I think everybody's got personal goals, and I just felt like trying to help, because if a player gets a bad agent that needs a signing bonus, that's the worst.
Yeah,
like the worst, because they'll do stuff for the kid that doesn't have the kid's best interest at heart. So we try very hard. Like I stay out of the agents. Like we don't really recommend or like whatever, but we have good relationships. Like I would be crazy not to, because one agent could run a summer baseball team. Like if somebody's got a Nolan Souza or Jason Jones or whoever, and they have the best players, and the same agency have the best players every year. But we just built natural relationships. We didn't try to steer players away from other people when they had players, and we've had guys with Excel, we've had guys with Rock Nation, we've had guys with CA, we've had guys with every big agency. And at the end of the day, I feel like I have good relationships with all of them, and we are checking up and going like, hey, is this true? Like when there was a lot of buzz. Clarence Johns did a really good job for Tink, and there was a lot of buzz he was going to go in the first round to the Rays, and it just like people were reaching out to me, and Perfect Game didn't want to get their mock draft wrong, and then Baseball Network didn't want to get their and I couldn't understand how people reaching out to me at like 9:00 at night. So I'm reaching out to Tink and his dad. I mean, nobody really knows. It's just a zoo, and it's fun for me. The biggest 2 days for me are signing day and the draft day.
Yeah.
You literally get to watch dreams come true. And unfortunately, baseball is different than other sports where you might be committed as a ninth grader and then it gets dirty at the end, and like, you get your scholarship pulled, or they overcommitted, or there's a very dirty side to what we do that unfortunately we can't help sometimes. It's out of my control, or like summer baseball or high school baseball coaches' control. So when they finally get there and they get to sign, or they finally get to the draft, a lot of times it's coming, but it's still like a relief to go like, okay, it's like sending your kid off to college almost, to where like, all right, now we got a younger son, brother, like whatever, we got to help them. And anytime you have as many kids as we do, like other people try to knock us and go like, oh, they got too many players. Well, that like would be a bad thing if we weren't helping every kid, but we're still like, I think last year there was like 74 kids commit, which was like in almost 90% of our players in that grade. So It's just one of those things where it never stops. There's always a younger kid. We got an eighth grader commit this year for the first time, which was like absolutely crazy. But like, how could I tell anybody that they're wrong? Those guys do this for a living, and if they want to offer to them, I guess good for them. It's not really my call, but it never stops. It just seems to keep getting younger and younger. And when one class goes, another one comes. So the draft never seems to stop, like because the
Yeah.
rankings never stop and the playing never stops. And I've heard I heard in 2024 they're like, hey, a guy that they're like, oh, he might go 1-1. Like he's not even in the top 30 ranking anymore. And I literally had a team tell me like, oh, he's a candidate to go 1-1. I have no idea. That guy might be fired, like, or he might be the smartest guy in the world. I have no idea. Coach Seeley, who's been a mentor to me, he told me like in January, he goes, Jackson Holiday is going number one. And like Jackson wasn't even in the top 15, like in the draft. It wasn't even on the top 10 previews. And sure enough, I mean, Jackson went number one. So I think there's just so much every day goes by that there's a chance for somebody to fall or rise. And there's so much at stake. It's almost like gambling. And, just to try to help our players any way we can to get drafted or just, because for some of these guys, this is life changing money. And
Yeah.
we just had our first big leaguer this week, Logan O'Hoppe. He made the big league. He played for the Angels, got a hit. So we're super, super happy for Logan. And Logan was the kid I like to brag on. Logan, he was committed to East Carolina. That's where his parents met. That's where his parents went to school. He could have went to any school in the country at the end of the day. Didn't really go to any PG stuff. He signed for like a crazy low amount. He was like, no, I want to play pro ball. He got in the system. He worked hard. He got traded at the trade deadline this year to the Angels. And now he's in the big leagues. And I mean, that's what it's all
That's
about.
awesome. Yeah.
Oh, it's super exciting. And hopefully we have 100 more, make it 1,000 more, as many as we can. And just to see those guys live out their dreams, it's super exciting. But it's a process. Like it's hard to be a big league without getting drafted, so we got to help get them to the draft any way we can, and then got to hope they stay healthy and stay out of trouble and keep getting better. And you got to hope that they grow up and do the work, and then you look up and it's magical. So and you guys play a huge role too. Like I don't know if you know this, but like social media has changed everything. I mean,
Yes.
the perception of like people are dying to get an interview with Symone Stanley or be on a Black Cobra, like a real. I mean, you can say whatever you want, but I would definitely tell you there have been players, and you know this for a fact, to go this summer. Hey, is Symone going to be here today? So it's media plays a huge role, and you can do what you want, but it's the facts of it, and we appreciate everything you guys do for our players, and we appreciate all the media and the video and all that stuff because these kids get to show people in parts of the world that have never seen them.
That's true.
Just what kind of player, and even interviews like this, somebody's going to hopefully see this interview, has no idea who I am. Maybe they'll root for the Sticks or just look it up. That's what it's all about. You guys do a great job, and that was starting my own show had nothing to do with me. Like it truly didn't. It had to do with all my friends. And I thought, hey, like if I start the Chase Brewster show, I can show the world like how Dirk Kenney is, how Todd Schaefer is, how Tyler Sawyer is, how Steve Landers is. Like these are like geniuses in my opinion. And I want the world to know that. So, we appreciate everything you do and you guys do for our players. And I know they love it as well.
So we only got a little bit of time left with my free Zoom. So I have two more. I mean, I had more questions, but so there's there's a billion. I mean, I'm being dramatic, but it could be a billion travel teams. And there's a billion guys who used to play college baseball, used to play D1, used to play professional baseball, but 99% of them don't succeed at whether it's running their own team or coaching. So what would you say, like and I know you probably can't boil it down to one thing, but what's been the key, like to separate yourself from all these travel teams and like what's been the key?
I think just treating people right and making it a lifetime affair, lifetime relationships. I mean, you look at our dugout. I mean, Dirk Kenney was in my wedding. Almost all Kyle Sladen was in my wedding. Most of the coaches and some of the like me and Alicia got married, and all five of our ushers were Sticks players. Jaden Hill, who was a second rounder, he walked her mom down the aisle in the wedding. Kason Tollett walked my mom down the wedding. He's now coaching with us. So, and all that happened organically. I mean, my wife's in the dugout every day taking pictures. It's just a real family kind of atmosphere, and we love them when they need love, and we're hard on them when they need to be hard on. I don't know that I'm the best coach in the country. I don't get to, like, we all think we're great at what we do. The
Yeah.
players tell you, the players either they stick up for me or they make fun of me behind my back. I don't have any idea what people say when I'm not around. But what I do know is people keep coming back. And I
Yeah.
think we're in the business of retention. And if you keep losing good players every year, you kind of got to look in the mirror and go like, hey, something might be wrong with the system. You see a lot of times these teams, somebody makes an error, they just berate a kid. Like we're gonna play on Wednesday. MJ Styles our shortstop. If MJ Styles makes 3 errors, you're not gonna see me out there going crazy and talking to him like I shouldn't, because I feel like when kids are comfortable and they have confidence, good things are going to happen. I mean, we may boot 3, but we need to drive in 4. And we've just really tried to live like that. I mean, you never hardly seen me just, go crazy on a player or definitely not a fan or anything like that. So it's one of those things where we just treat people right. We try to do, try to treat them like we would our own. And like we got a kid this summer, we were playing against one of the top programs in the country. And he sent me a message after the game. I had no idea who he was. And he said, hey, I noticed y'all were charting all my pitches. He said, every time I threw a breaking ball, y'all were taking. He said, I really feel like y'all were able to succeed and we just showed up. And he's like, I want to play with y'all next summer. That was like the biggest compliment I've ever gotten. I had no idea who that kid was. Greatest kid ever. Unfortunately, when you have as many POs as we do and you're trying to win all these big national events that we've created and PBR, PG, and all these people have made, you don't get to get everybody the image you would like sometimes. And I hate that for him. But he's such a great kid and a great family. But that was like the nicest thing anybody's ever said to me. I had no idea who he was. And he was playing on a team that I would say was the top program in the country, like the one that, like, the big event. And he
Yeah.
sent that to me, and I was super honored. And it was really a testament to Dirk Kinney and Tyler Sawyer because of how hard they work. But again, I just think if the Six ended tomorrow, it would break my heart if we didn't have all these relationships with the coaches and players to continue, no matter what happened. And if this thing went on for 10 more years and I never talked to these guys again, it'd break my heart too. I mean, we're currently doing it just the way we dreamed of, where it's we're going to weddings and birthday parties and talking to families and making it an everyday event. That's really the greatest joy. And I think why we're successful, because you're going to win a lot when you got good players. I didn't teach any of them how to hit or pitch. I wish I could take credit for it. And a lot of people say, oh, these guys take credit, but we don't. Like, I think we have a great schedule. I think we do a great job of holding kids accountable. And we have a great job of turning it into a family. All the other stuff, I'm super happy they showed up and know how to play. And we add some structure, we add some good uniforms, and we win a lot of games in the process. But I think that's what makes us different than everybody.
I love it. I love it. So yeah, the biggest thing, like you said, that I'm taking away is the relationship being genuine relationships, valuing people, making people feel seen.
Well, I think, I've been saying this a little bit now as I get older. I want to help people that can't help me back. And that's how I feel about our players. Like, the Sticks will live without the star shortstop or the best arm, or probably without me. I mean, if somebody want to step in tomorrow and coach, we have built the top whatever number program in the country, and we're very, very excited and proud of what we've built. But we got to keep the principles first, and we got to keep treating people right, and we got to keep doing everything we can to help every single person that plays with us. And that's what we're turning our attention to now. Me and Evan Ham and Kyle Slayton, we have a complete rollout coming for this fall that I'm super excited about, to change the experience for our parents and our players, and to make sure that they know how lucky we are that we feel that their sons play in our program, and actually their daughters too now. Stick softball's grown, so we're completely changing our thought process of and our thankfulness of what these players do for us. It's always, even in these questions, it's what we do for the players. And in reality, the players do everything for us. And I have the best job in the world because we have some of the best young players in the world. Some of them have been around forever. I mean, Triple Ander's been with the Sticks since he was 12 years old. Like, and now those guys are about to graduate. It's heartbreaking in one sense, but you get to watch them grow up and go live out their dreams. So that's exciting. And as this new group of young guys come in, we want to make sure that they all know that we're thankful for them, and that we have the best job in the world because of them. And hopefully 2022, these guys will keep this thing going next summer, and we'll keep playing well, and we'll kind of keep the tradition going with a group of new faces.
I love it. I love it. Well, we ran out of time, officially ran out of time, but I really enjoy. I feel like I know so much more about you, Chase Brewster. Like, this
Well,
was
thank
really productive. I appreciate it.
Well, once we get you a big sponsor, we can get you more than the free Zoom, and we'll be able, we'll be able to make sure that you deliver your message to the world with no time restraints.
But I appreciate it, Chase. Again, can't wait. You know, your Chase Brewster show is awesome. It's popping.
Thank you
It's
very much.
awesome, popping. But guys, I am Symone. This is the Just Swingin podcast. Thank you guys so much for joining us.